CFR Network, CFR Sports. Good day, good night, all. Welcome back. I got a sibling with Mark Hamilton, Express Truth. Welcome back again, sibling. What's happening?
Yeah, we in the building, man. What's going on?
I had to bring you back, man, because we touched on a lot of the combat sport element, but I needed your expertise and bring you back home to recap on the AJ and Usyk thing, and obviously some up and coming, some new news that we've got in the boxing arena as well. So, yeah, man, glad you're here, sibling.
Yeah, man, we here, man. Let's just go straight into
Yeah,
it,
man,
Noble.
straight in.
So, Usyk Joshua, me personally, I think the build up to that fight was so focused around Usyk being a hero for the Ukraine, Usyk being like the Ukraine's savior, stuff that were being discussed outside of the ring
Mhm.
for conversation's sake. When they said that Usyk was going to give up half of his purse to get the rights to the fight, to be able to show it for free on YouTube in the Ukraine.
I heard that. Now unpack that a little bit more. What kind of purse are we talking about for him to say he's going to give away half of that there?
So Joshua made 35 million. So let's say Usyk made 20 or 25 for
What?
conversation's sake, yeah?
Yeah,
He was willing. Now, this is not, these numbers are just numbers that I'm throwing out.
yeah.
Joshua did make 35, but Usyk made something like, let's say he made 20. Yeah, this is me just throwing this number out.
Hmm.
He was willing to give up 10 million of that 20 just to acquire the rights to be able to show it in the Ukraine
That's big.
and wherever else. So the reason why I mentioned all of that is to say he weren't going to lose.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is that he had a purpose.
yeah.
He had a purpose and he was going to go harder. And I just couldn't see a way Joshua could do it. The only way Joshua could have did it is by marching forward with his hands up and throwing big shots and hoping that something sticks. But Usyk's not that kind of fighter.
Nah.
He's seen every style. He's dealt with every advantage that an opponent may bring. And Joshua just, he wasn't going to do it, man. He just weren't going to do it. And he didn't do it. And it went the exact same way I believed it would.
But he did do a lot better than the first fight.
Definitely, definitely done a lot better. But it was still, you know, he brought a better, it's like, I know I'm all over the place here, but it's like you lost and you looked a bit better, but it was more of the same. He weren't dominated as much. Like he knew how to deal with it
Yeah.
a lot better, but it was more of the same, man.
Mm, mm. Do you think getting a different camp would have helped him?
He had a different camp. He had Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia has trained Brandon Rios, uh, Marcus Maidana,
Ah.
who gave Adrian Broner his first loss.
Mm-hmm.
He's trained Mikey Garcia. He's had loads, man. He's had loads, but he trains fighters that are more aggressive,
Okay.
and he kind of matches skill with that aggression. So Maidana, if you look at Marcus Maidana that fought Amir Khan, he was nothing like the Marcus Maidana who fought Adrian Broner. The Marcus Maidana that fought Adrian Broner had been polished.
Mm.
Like he knew he was using his jab a lot more. He was like slipping shots a lot more, smothering Broner's work. And I knew that would definitely help Joshua, but I knew it wouldn't be enough to beat Usyk. Now, Joshua has got too many coaches. So changing camp, it only works if there's one clear boss.
Okay. Too many Chiefs.
Too many.
And I'm hearing other fans say that, AJ's done good to get to where he's got to, but you know, putting him up against like true boxers, should we say? He's potentially always going to lose because he's very green. Number one, he's only coming. How long has he been fighting now? Boxing?
He started boxing. You mean professionally
Yeah,
or
professionally.
altogether? Since 2012,
Yeah, yeah.
after the Olympics.
Mm.
So
It's
he's still, he's done extremely well to get where he's got to.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, but Usyk's a complete different fighter, and every fighter gets these fighters in their career. Usyk is not a walkover. He's not somebody you can train to be in one cat. It just don't work like that. And especially with all the political stuff surrounding it, it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
happen, man. It just weren't. It wasn't going to happen.
That gave him that extra motivation, as you say, everything that's going on with what's going on with Russia and all that there. And yeah, he had, as you say, which he eloquently said, a purpose. He was fighting more than just for winning sake and for belts. He you know what I mean? He was in this thing fully
I mean, that's
focused.
what the whole promo was about.
Mm,
The whole promo was built up around Usyk being this. He was called from this war with his brothers, fighting for his country. He was called into this fight, and he was going to give the people a boost. And Usyk has been since then. Everything that we've spoken about previously on historical shows and stuff. Yeah, basically is what Usyk's promo was about.
mm,
Building up his nation, giving them hope, showing them that this is not the end of their story. And
yes.
you know what I mean, it was built up a certain way. I mean, I kind of knew he was not going to lose that fight. Joshua, it's just business,
Hmm.
and I know people get upset when I say that, but one man was a businessman, and that it is a business, so let's not forget that. But
Yeah.
one man was fighting for a nation of people that you know are going through it right now.
Yeah, this is
So
it.
it's a different kind of purpose, Noble.
100% agree with that. 100%. He was just looking. I mean, let's say he won that back. What would have been next on the cards for him? Would he challenged Fury? Would that have been the next logical thing? Even though he's kind of semi-retired, and obviously we'll move on to the news and all that kind of stuff. But what would have been the roadmap for AJ had he had beaten Usyk?
Yeah, if AJ would have beaten Usyk, man, he would have been on top of the world because he would have made the first fight look like it was a fluke.
Hmm.
Secondly, Fury's just beaten Dillian White, and Fury's on top of the world right now. The payday would have been astronomical.
Yeah,
I
silly.
mean, he could have done whatever he wanted to do. Literally, he could have done whatever he wanted to do. But now he has to start from, I'm not going to say from the bottom because a cash cow like AJ don't start from the bottom,
Nah.
but he's got a lot of work to do. Whereas if he would have won straight to Tyson Fury for the two leg Wembley dates, that's what would have, it would just been, and it would have been a massive fight. Like it still is a big fight, but it would have been bigger. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
it would have been big. They would have to. We're talking 50, 60 million that they had to pay him for that.
What per fighter?
Oh God, easy, man. Easy,
I,
easy.
I don't educate me a little some. How
Yeah.
obviously I know boxing's a more of a well-established sport, but how does that even work? How can you pay that kind of money and it still be viable for the managers to make the money for the the promotion for the sports the people who actually like the zone and all that. How does this all work, man? This is crazy money.
Okay. So how it works in boxing, it's slightly different from MMA. You get a guaranteed purse. So let's say the guaranteed purse will say 20 million a head.
Hmm.
Then you get pay-per-view. Now remember, in boxing, you have the Britain that fight would have the British market pay-per-view, which would they would get paid from. the pay-per-views sold in Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would have the pay-per-views in the USA. You'd have European pay-per-views and the rest of the world.
Yeah.
A fight of that magnitude, the heavyweight title, with two fighters that have very, very big global followings. Okay, it's nowhere near the followings that they have in the UK, but they have huge global followings. Yeah, that money is not really a lot when you really break it down, because if you only have to do the maths. A pay-per-view in the States is $60 to $70. It's not like the UK. It's $60 to $70. So let's say they done 500,000 just in the States. So if we're just doing the maths now, I'll tell you right now. That's 35 million just in the States.
Okay.
Never mind the other markets, never mind
Yeah.
sponsorship that the fight will bring.
Yeah.
Never mind the gate. Never mind the TV rights. Never mind the pay-per-view. Well, TV rights will be slightly different because obviously pay-per-view. Just everything around it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the tin for a fight of that level.
Flipping now. Okay. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Uh-huh. So what's next for Usyk then?
Well, he's saying he's injured. So the undisputed excuse me, Noble. The undisputed fight that everyone wants between Usyk and Fury, it won't happen till about that might not happen till summer because Usyk has said he's injured and he don't want to fight again this year.
Which is
So
cool.
the only thing Usyk can actually do now, well, given the situation in his home country as well,
you
don't know where his head's at. He might not want to fight. He said he's not ready to fight till next year. Next year might come. We don't know if that situation don't get any worse.
Yeah.
If it does get worse, Usyk he ain't fighting. So Fury ain't got no one to fight. So that's why you see Fury calling out Joshua now.
He's being strategic with the thing. Now he's obviously in a better position now, right? He's in a lot better position than AJ in regards to saying let's get this fight done because there've been talks of this for years now.
In regards to AJ, Usyk is in a much better position. However, financially, probably not, because all Usyk brings is the belts. He don't really bring commercial value. So even though you're the champion, it's the same thing as the UFC. No, but a man who's in the UFC, if he don't sell pay-per-views, he ain't gonna eat like that.
Yeah.
And that's the same in boxing. People need to not get this thing twisted. Even though Joshua's had back-to-back losses, he sells pay-per-views, he brings casuals to the sport.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So Usyk is not that kind of fighter. Maybe in his home country, but he's not that on a global stage.
Is that because of his promotion? Is it because his style's boring? What would you put behind that?
All right. A lot of things he don't really speak English like that.
That would be a major thing in my opinion, as I would agree. Yeah.
Major. To speak English, there's only certain men who can't speak English and still do good things. He don't speak good English, He's not really he's not a heel. You know what I mean? So he's not a bad guy. But then he don't sell like that. So he's just not like that. You have men who come into the sport, and even Joshua's not like that, but you got men who come into the sport and just care about the art of the sport.
Yeah.
They don't care about selling merch, selling product, they don't care. They just care about, I'm the best boxer.
Yes.
That's it. I don't care about none of that other stuff. I'm the best boxer, and Usyk's one of them guys.
Okay. Oh, before we get on to the Fury calling out AJ, he obviously had a bit of a meltdown at the end of that there. Now, the way I perceived it was that he basically he didn't remain professional as he always is. and he snapped based upon the pressure that he was under, and trying to live up to